This is dedicated to all my beautiful queens, all my beautiful ladies out there. She's a queen. Go queen. You got it, girl. She's a queen. You better represent. Go queen. Go queen. Go. She's a queen about her business. Queen. Working hard on a mission. Yeah. Head high, purpose driven. Purpose driven. Crown will never tilted. Queen. Go queen. Go queen. Go queen. Go. Represent. You're a queen. You're a queen. Oh.
You guys for joining another episode of the Q Chat podcast. And today I have a beautiful, sweet guest. And I want everyone, once you watch this episode and listen, I want you guys to send virtual love and hugs because she's a little nervous and I don't want her to be nervous because I'm so excited. So I want to go ahead. This is a topic, guys, that I've been wanting to bring to the forefront. You know, with the Q Chat, we do talk about self-love, but it's all about erasing stigmas. That's one of the biggest things that means a lot to me with the show. Just it's a place for everybody to be comfortable, happy, and also get some education too. So today I have a beautiful guest. I have Miss Artie, and Artie does amazing work. Artie is working with, and you're in New Jersey, right?
Yes,
Works with HIV and awareness, a prep worker. So I just want to go ahead and give her the floor and introduce her. So we're going to just have a conversation about just erasing some stigmas, guys, and just educating ourselves and being healthy. So how are you doing today, sweetheart?
I'm doing great today. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited just to get the word out and just, get the word out.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I'm so indebted to you, and I really appreciate you just being on. And like I said, this is an important topic, and I know it's something that means a lot to you too. So I'm just so happy to have you on. So how did you get started with this? How long have you been working with New Jersey? Just tell everybody, with your journey with this and how much it means to you and everything.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so I was diagnosed in 2015, HIV, and in 2015, I was in the middle of working in New York City in a pediatric office, along with going to school. So it was a lot for me. And then finding that diagnosis out, I was just like over it. Though I had my older sister who was there for me. She just told me, hey, get up, you got to keep going. And I got up, I kept going. She's like, I wanted to take the day off after I found out. She goes, you'll be moping around for how long? Just get up. Because I had school the next day too. So she's like, let's do it. I'm here for you. You got to call me if anything. You got to break down, call me. I'm here. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going to keep going. So I don't know if I gave myself that much time, but I'm happy I had my sister there because she pushed me. She said she kept me, she was my pillar, right?
Yeah.
So then I just started working in HIV in 2019. I work at a nonprofit located in New Jersey, and I'm a prep counselor. So what is prep counseling? Prep counseling is when I sit down with somebody to think about their sexual habits, if they use condoms, if they don't use condoms. Of course, PrEP is a pill that prevents HIV. It's a daily pill. You take it once a day. It's just like somebody who's HIV positive. It's just the prevention part, you're protecting yourself rather than treating. So yeah, that was like a little bit.
Okay. Number one, I just commend you for, and that's another thing I like to talk about on the show, just how, like you said, you kept going, you got up, and like when we take things that life throws at us unexpectedly, but we take it to the next level, to help the next person, and it gives you a sense of healing too, So what made you decide, like, hey, I want to be a prep counselor. I want to work for this nonprofit. Did something convict you to say, hey, let me help other people that's going through what I'm dealing with to help them continue to get up?
I love that question. Thank you for asking me that. So it was around 2018 to 19. I was working at this, I left the pediatric office, I had graduated, I got my associates right now, currently I have my associates, I'm going back to school in September, so I'm really excited about that. And so working at that pediatric office, I was over it, I was tired of it, so I left that. I got up and I went to working for Inglewood Hospital. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was a medical receptionist. I was just a front desk person. I was answering phones, scheduling visits, doing all the 9 yards that a front desk person does. After like 8 months of being there, I got really tired of it. Mm-hmm. And there was this prep counselor who would always come in and ask me data like for his clients. Oh, what did this patient come, et cetera, et cetera. And he saw what a whiz I was in the front. He was like, do you want to come work at with me? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I love you. Blah, 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 blah. It wasn't until the third time he had asked me. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this front desk. I need something else. I need something more. And I went ahead and he asked me again. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it. So I went for an interview there. And in the beginning, I was a little about it because working at an HIV nonprofit is, I feel like for myself, I was like putting myself out there too much. Like, are people going to be HIV positive? Like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then something inside of me just said, go for it. You're tired of this job you have at the front desk. Why don't you do it? What's holding you back? Oh, the assumptions of everybody else, the judgments of everyone else. You know, let that hold you back, Artie? No, we're not going to do that. So I went ahead and in 2019, they offered me the job. I started January 2nd. And I've been there ever since. So
that's great. And you seem like you love it. And I'm happy that, number one, that person recognized something in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that just happens sometimes. Sometimes like we're just aligned with the right opportunity. And like you said, at first you were like, nah, you know, I'm not going to do this. But that's the thing about when you're meant to do something, I feel like it's supposed to be uncomfortable at first. You know, it's not supposed to feel right at first, you know, and I'm not saying every opportunity is going to come in a form like that where we may think it, but I just think sometimes, you know, because when you're making a big step in your life, you're supposed to have that moment like, I don't know, because I feel like sometimes we don't know what's inside of us. And I think that also goes into why, because I've gone through a lot of periods and I go through it a lot now and I'm like, why me? You know, like, why did I go through some of these things I went through? You know, like with the domestic violence platform I went through, same thing. A lot of times, even with this show, I'm like, do I really want to discuss this? You know, like, do I really want to put this out there that I went through some terrible ish? You know, like I still go through it and I still go through, well, I'm not sure how I feel about divulging all of this, but you know, like it's a lot, you know, so I get it. So I commend you that like I said, I get where you're coming from as far as, you know, when he first asked you like, nah, you know, because I mean, it's a lot when you put yourself out there to help people. Like you said, you're putting all your stuff out there. So I love the fact too that your family with your sister has helped you, you know, that you have that. So what's your experience at the center, you know, because that's another thing I wanted to talk about, just erasing the stigmas. As we know, not everyone has that support. Do you find a lot that you come across a lot of people that unfortunately, you know, they don't have that love? You know, how does that make you feel? What do you offer them to just, you know, embrace them?
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's tough because at the same time, when working at the nonprofit, it's like right in my face how kind of good I got it. You know, it's right in my face how I have people around me and others don't. So at the same time, I just try to be there for them as people are there for me. And it's just, that's why, to be honest, I have a work phone, but sometimes my work phone is switching to my personal phone because it's like, it's so hard because I love the work I do. And sometimes my work phone's uncharged. So like, it's just like, I tell clients to have it off on the weekends. I give them my personal cell just in case, you know, I'm just like, here, if you need to reach out to me. And I know at the same time, I feel like it's so unprofessional, but like, I know the struggle, and especially I work in prevention, right? But prevention is as important as treatment, because if someone's out here wanting to prevent it, why not assist them in doing so? So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize how prevention is as equally as important as treatment for HIV.
Yes. So with your work at the nonprofit, how does like your daily activities goes, and what are all the services that you guys offer for people that come into the center?
Okay, so the center that I work at, it's a resource center for people affected and infected by HIV. Services that we have are like food bank, testing services, counseling services. I'm a tester. So in the morning, I don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes I have like 3 walk-ins. Sometimes I have 0 walk-ins. I also am the lead person who takes care of the social media platforms. So I'm out here trying to just put those little stigma-free education little posts. I'm just out here trying to just spread the knowledge and awareness of HIV. Besides the food bank, we also have mental health services, and we're trying to, right now, currently, to ask for more. Currently, to ask for more. Why do we want more? So my nonprofit is located on this block. On the block over, there was a homeless shelter. That homeless shelter provided STI testing. We don't have STI testing. STI testing is sexually transmitted infections. And we don't have that. All we have is HIV testing. So now in November, the STI services, they took it away from us. New Jersey State took that person out of there. And now there's no free services for HIV. I mean, for STI testing, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis. So now those clients who were there, who were looking for that place, somehow end up at my facility. And I assist them with HIV testing, but it's so sad that now I have to refer them to another county to get some other STI services because they can't get it in Bergen County, which they could have in the past, but now they just recently took that away. So we're trying to apply for a grant to get the STI testing in-house because it's needed. It's very much needed. They took it away in November 2020. And I've seen the effects. I've seen the effects of people trying to get treatment, and now they have to, if they don't want to go to the other county, now they have to go to a Planned Parenthood and it's, and pay for that out of pocket. Of course, we assist them only if they want PrEP, because we can't just be paying all these, all the coins and everything. So yeah, it's something that I feel like I'm just putting out there right now. So yeah.
Now I know we also want to discuss stigmas. What are some of the common stigmas that you feel that people are still dealing with? Because I feel like a lot of topics, like HIV awareness, a lot of things that we think has progressed may not have progressed as much as we may think. We're not really involved in it. What are some of the common stigmas that you face or that are still prevalent that we all may not be aware of?
I mean, anybody who says HIV positive, I mean, it's already off the bat. Like you're trying to move away, you're trying to because you're scared, right? I know myself as before I was positive, I just want to put that out there just so you guys are aware of the stigma that I also had within myself. So let's say I was on a social app, right? Getting to know somebody. And they told me they were HIV positive. I just stopped answering them. I didn't want to continue because I was so uneducated. But the first thing I want somebody to know about HIV is that when someone reaches a undetectable viral load, that means they cannot transfer the virus to anyone else. Untransmittable. U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable. So someone who is on their HIV treatment, taking their pill every day, they're undetectable. They can't transmit the virus. So there's a lot of stigma right now, even currently, about people disclosing their status. Because if someone is undetectable, they don't feel the need to do all that and disclose because it's undetectable. So what's the point? But myself, I'm very aware of the stigma that comes behind that because people are like, oh, well, you didn't give me a choice, but I'm not giving you anything. So what's the dialogue here? Just want to put that out there as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I actually know someone that she's undetectable as well. So I get it. I mean, same situation. And I know I met her years ago, and I personally saw like how she was treated when people who should not have known her status in the first place, you know, which is illegal. I mean, trust me, that's a long story, but I mean, I get it. I get it. So with the center, obviously, I mean, I know you guys you're dealing with that every single day. And then you have your own personal life going on. What do you do just to have that self-love? You know, go love yourself. That's my big thing. And when you're feeding into someone else, you know, there's a balance, because I mean, I would assume you don't want to drain yourself too. So like, what do you do to just feed into yourself so that you're not necessarily taking on too much, like when you leave the center? Like, what do you do just to feed into yourself to keep yourself healthy? Because that's another thing, you want to keep yourself healthy. So like, what do you do so that you're not, you know, like I said, you're helping, but you're also not hurting yourself in the process?
I love that question again. Thank you. You're asking these questions right on point, Queen. Wow. Creating boundaries is very important. I mean, like, as much as I am very giving, and I give my cell phone number, sometimes if I have to create a boundary. So creating boundaries, I'm still working on it, because I said, I am HIV positive myself. So I just try to help as much as I can. But creating boundaries, having dialogue with my significant other about my long day, him just listening. The listening part is very key, not comparing or, you know, trying to contrast. Oh, I've been through that. Just listen. Writing, I love writing. Writing is my thing. That's about it. I don't know. Self-care, I need to work on it better. I have to be honest with you. There are times, currently this week, I can remember, I was just like, I'm really working on it. It's a work in progress. It's not I like to meditate as well. You know, there's many things I like to do, but just creating the time for it, and also allowing myself to just sit and just rest.
Right. And I like how you said it's a work in progress, because I think we're all in a work in progress. I say it all the time. I'm going to always be in a state of ing. I'm always going to be building, growing, learning, you know, because once we know everything, there's no use for us at that point, you know.
We're always still learning. I feel like, you know, as much as I do know about HIV and AIDS, there's still so much to learn. So as much as I am a counselor, I learn a lot. I'm never like, this is this way and that's it. No, do you have another way? Is there another way I can do that? I'm very open and realizing that I don't know it all. And once you start to realize that you don't know everything, and much as you are educated or you are trained in something, there's always something new to learn. So I'm very aware of that. And I just personally know that. So like, yeah, I don't hate, but I just like when people just know it all. Like, we don't know it all. We're all just beautiful works in progress.
Right. And know-it-alls have no place in this earth. Like, a know-it-all can't help anybody at that point. If you know everything, like, you've lost somewhere, you know, like, you haven't picked up on the right tools if you think you know everything. What are some of the common misconceptions, if any, regarding prevention? I think even now, sometimes, and if a person sits there and claims that they've been perfect and always practice safe sex, I would think, once again, that's a know-it-all, and they're lying. You know, I'm just saying, we're all adults. No one is perfect. And let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that's another thing. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation. What are some of the common misconceptions, you know, that you have come across as far as, you know, prevention of HIV, STDs, things like that? Because I think a lot of times people still don't practice safe sex the way that we should, you know, or just sometimes people aren't educated. So like, what are some of the common misconceptions?
Some common misconceptions about the HIV prevention. If I take this pill, will it give me HIV? Because I've gotten that many times from my clients, like, will this medicine give me HIV? I'm like, no, it will not. It's protecting you. So we all know when HIV enters the body, it attacks your CD4 cells, your T cells. So what this PrEP medication does, it creates a shield around your T cell. So let's say that HIV comes into your body, it bounces right off and it doesn't multiply.
Oh, wow.
So that is exactly how the medication kind of works.
Okay. And see, I didn't know that either.
Yes. I just want to put that knowledge out there because not many people know it, and it's just about a little bit education. So the fact that you asked me to do this, I'm like, of course, why not? I just want to push this information out there as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. So if a person takes PrEP, is there chances that they can get it at all, or does it reduce the chances?
It just reduces the chances, period. It reduces the chances. It doesn't, it doesn't give them HIV or anything like that. But one of the misconceptions is I've currently a lot of clients, because there's a lot of with these pharma, right, with pharmaceuticals right now, there's a lot of propaganda, right, saying, oh, this is affecting you, this is affecting your body, it's affecting. Hey, sometimes each individual is different. Sometimes in the beginning of taking the medication, you get a few headaches, you get nausea, etc. After 2 weeks after the medication, it subsides, but some people during the 2 weeks, they're like, oh, I can't take this, I'm done. And I can't force them, I can't force them. I'm just there for them if they want to come back into treatment or however I can help them. But yeah, that's one of the big misconceptions about the medication, I feel like, about prevention.
Oh, wow. And so you have to take it every day, basically, if someone wants to take it. So they take it on it like a vitamin or something, they take it on a daily basis.
Basically, let's say you miss a dose one day. You're not going to go ahead and take it like double the next day. No, we're not going to do that. You take the next day, you forgot it. Okay. Now you take the next day, you don't take double the, we don't want to put that much in our body,
Right. Okay. And I mean, that's good knowledge, so I'm saying that's stuff that people should know. Now, with your nonprofit, do you guys like work with a lot of young people? Because I feel like, when you're younger, I remember when I was at University of New Orleans, the most popular class was human sexuality, and he broke down everything. And I'll never forget, after I took that class, I didn't have sex for like 2 years. Took that class, I didn't have sex for like 2 years because like the stuff that the teacher said, I was like, damn, he'd also mentioned how like when women, if we get like an STD, we don't get symptoms sometimes, it's completely dormant. But like, I mean, he just broke down everything. And I was like, okay, you got me, because I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna prevent me, because it was just very graphic and stuff too. So, do you guys do like a lot of education, like as far as maybe, and I know COVID has messed up a lot, but do you get the opportunity to reach out to young people in schools and colleges and stuff like that?
Yes. So before COVID-19 hit us into 2020, we were going to high schools. I went to Dwight Morrow High School in Inglewood. I went to Hackensack High School, to the Drop-In Center, and it was beautiful. I also went to Lodi, I think, as well. Yeah, we were starting to do that communication, going to these classes and working with the schools, and just helping them be aware of the HIV period. We worked more with drop-in centers, and then in Dwight Morrow, I went to a class. That was really cool. So the kids got to meet me, ask me questions. That was really, really nice. I just want them not to go through everything I went through.
Yeah.
It was a lot, and if I could help someone prevent it, I feel like that's why I'm here. That's why we're having this conversation.
Right. So I wanted to talk to you also. So I know like you call yourself a light worker. So I wanted to, because like I said, I'm all about self-love, positivity. So can you break down just the whole, just break down all the elements on what that entails?
Okay. I'm still working on myself, to be totally honest. I just know growing up, my mother was very spiritual. She believes in, God Almighty. And, so she grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic. But she also grew up with, believing in the saints as them being the messengers, right, to God or to, higher power. So I'm just very spiritual. My mom told me that there's things that, I might not know, but that come to me and I'm aware of. I don't even know. I'm not trying to talk in riddles. I don't know really how to explain it. I just know that there's work to be done here on earth. And I feel like I'm here just to spread awareness that we're all different. And there's so much unique things about us that we need to go within and figure out more, as I'm doing right now. So as a light worker, I'm just a ray of sunshine, and people call me all the time. And not all the time, also it could be taken as toxic positivity, like, oh, you're too much. No, I just am who I am. If you don't fly with it, if you don't vibe with it, you don't vibe with it. You know, I have good days and I have bad days. I'm just as human as anybody else. And I can get as ratchet if sometimes if needed, but I don't like to. So, yeah.
I love how you write the reference to higher power, because I tend to say that a lot too, you know, because I know like I have a lot of questions the older I get about, you know, typical religion. So I tend to reference a higher power because I know there's a higher power. What my belief may not be the same as like the typical religion. So like I try to just, you know, that's just in my heart. I just feel like there is a higher power. It's something bigger than us. And I like how you mentioned too, I know like I have a self-love platform, but I think sometimes people, like I told somebody the other day, and I say it a lot, like I don't fart glitter just because I have a self-love platform. You know, same thing. I have good days, I have bad days, you know, and I love how you mentioned toxic positivity, because I think sometimes when you have a platform where you're trying to help people and feed into them, it gets received, it can get received in a wrong way, I guess, sometimes, or they may think like you're trying to, I try not to throw self-love in people's face, but it's just what works for me, you know, like I have to feed into myself too, you know, so it's just like, it's natural when you tell other people, hey, like there's a way to think positively or manifestation, stuff like that, you know, some people can take it the wrong way and just look at toxic positivity, but it's really, you know, like you said, everyone has their options. You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the thing about humans, right? I don't know if you're on Clubhouse, but yes. Clubhouse has been right now, right? And I got the toxic positivity from there because I was listening to a conversation. I'm like, wow, I can understand how people could perceive it as toxic positivity, but I'm sorry, it's just who I am. You know, I'd rather take the high road than always be all pessimistic and realist and just mundane. I feel like, you know, I just like to be optimistic. I like to understand that, you know what, if this didn't work out, something else is coming around the corner that I don't have no idea about that will work for me better. So, yeah.
Right. And I feel like that's just a better way to live. You know, that pessimistic stuff, it's draining, like it's physically draining. So, you know, I just think it's kind of sad that we're so jaded in our world that if someone tries to say something positive, it can be looked at as toxic. Like I have to practically laugh at the idea of toxic positivity because I've heard that a lot too. And I heard something recently, I think, saying that self-care can also be like the self-care platforms can be abusive or something.
They always come up with something. Always trying to put us down somewhere, I feel like, you know, and it's just like, I'm just trying to bring this energy out here because I see a lot of negativity out here. So I'm just trying to bring positivity to y'all. And on my platform, I've really been a little vacant on my platform right now because I just, not on purpose, I just feel like I have to self-care right now because I was putting too much out there and then I was getting lost in myself. So I had to take back, but just doing this with you right now is putting me back into motion, making me understand that we're here for a moment in time, just for a moment in time. We don't know our expiration date at all. So let's live each day to the fullest as much as we can, period.
Right. And I feel you because I know I'm going to be taking a break soon. I haven't mapped out the date. Because, you know, like I said, when you're putting yourself out there, it does get draining. Even when, you know, it's like you're literally like feeding a part of yourself to people. So you have to have some boundaries. You have to have some balances. And, you know, like I'm always trying to put out some shows and stuff. I'm like, I need a break too. So I'm definitely going to be gone soon.
I love how you mentioned that, though, because at the same time, I'm realizing my self-care was making my videos. My self-care was bringing up like those videos I make, everything, every little piece of content I make is also my self-care. So as much as I'm putting that out there, it's also my self-care. So it's very interchangeable. You know, it's very funny. I'm realizing it right now. I'm like, why am I so like, well, because maybe I haven't been doing what I usually do because of other situations that are going on. So that's why I'm taking a step back and understanding it's all going to be okay. Let's move forward day by day.
And you're right, it is interchangeable. And that's, and that's literally the pro and the con of it. The best part of it, though, is when you're feeding positivity, you do get it back from the right people, and the right elements. I just feel like alignments definitely means something. So I definitely don't want to hold you up too long, but just barreling back to, of course, us putting that education out there. What's the main thing I guess you would want people to take away from, just us talking about educating ourselves, protecting ourselves, and also just erasing stigmas as well? What's some of the main things you would like to put out there for people who are listening? And, like they're, let's say someone's listening, they really don't have any idea of HIV awareness or just even understanding that people still, contract it, and you too can also contract it if you aren't smart or if you don't take care of yourself. And I'll scratch that smart part because I don't want to make it seem like, I mean, smart about smart about safe sex, because I'm like, let me clear that up because I don't want to make people, but as far as how we protect ourselves, sexually, what would you want to put out there for people?
I just want to emphasize real quick, language, right? That language, I love how you just said, like, wait a minute, let me just change that, because language is so important. I said earlier, even I said infected. That's a word that I don't like to use, because infected is just like you're an infection. Like, no, people are not infected. They're undetectable, right? So the first thing I want to just definitely put out there is you equals you. If you know somebody who is HIV positive and undetectable, that means that their virus is untransmittable. They can't transmit it to anyone else. So I definitely just want to make sure to push that out there. Definitely just want to make sure to push that out there. And if you don't wear a condom, PrEP is a option for you. I also want to mention a little bit, because there are sex workers, right? That's a thing that's happening right now. It continues to happen. It doesn't, people do sex work. So sometimes it's just the stigma with that in itself. It's just like, oh, when they do raw sex, they get paid more money. So I mean, like, hey, it is what it is. So PrEP is right for them, And I just want to take the shame off of that. Like, there's so much shame when let's say a heterosexual couple decides to have a baby, they have raw sex, right? They have sex without a condom. There's a baby shower. It's a celebration. It's whatever. Okay, of course, now when somebody else does raw sex, it's like kind of shamed upon. It's just like, it's very funny, the things that we put on pedestals, and we have to realize that the humanity continues to move on in the world we're living in. Some of the heteronormative toxicity things that happen, I feel like it's something we have to continue to talk about. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I don't know if I answered your question. I'm so sorry. I kind of like veered off.
No, you did. And I'm glad you said that, because that's one thing I've always looked at strangely, how I feel like we have like a particular standard of what's normal and what's not. Heterosexuals, why is it that things that heterosexuals do, they're not, like, oh, I don't need to come out and say I do yada, yada, yada. That's why I kind of feel like people's sexual preferences, they're their personal sexual preferences. And I feel like a person shouldn't have to be obligated to, let me come out and tell people this. I just feel like, I just wish we could get past that, honestly, because when we do that, we're still creating more stigmas, and we're also still isolating particular groups, because now you have particular people that's like, they're forced out the closet, are forced into saying their sexual preference, but then there's another group that could be doing something way more out the box than the other person, and they're not, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, I hope we get to a point where we can be just more mature about things, and we can just get past this whole, I have to tell everyone what I'm doing. Like, I don't see what's the necessity of me knowing what anyone does behind closed doors. Like, that has nothing to do with your heart, your character. Like, I just wish we could get past that, because there's no such thing as normal anything, but
really isn't. I love how you said that. There isn't a normal anything. After everything we're going through as humanity, with this coronavirus, with everything that continues to happen in the government, there's so much dismantling that's happening right in front of our eyes. And we continue to be aware of everything.
Right. So when we get to that point, that'd be great. You know, like I said, unfortunately right now, it's still like, why is it still like a hot topic now when someone's sexual preference is brought to the media? It's like, we just really need to get to a different stage in life. You know, I know we got a long way to go, you know, because I mean, this country is going through a lot as it is. It's like, we just need to just get to a point where we can focus on what's important and what's really going to help people. You know,
right now though, so I cheers to us for doing this, because I feel like as we continue to do this as humans living on this earth, education will continue. It's like a vibration, you know. So.
Right. And it's what you said, having conversations, but listening. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to one another, and just take stigmas out the door, throw them out, take judgments, throw them out, just let people be themselves, and also listen to one another. It could just really bring us to a whole different level in life. We could just learn to listen to each other and not try to judge a person from the lens that we're accustomed to, and vice versa, you know, because I think that's when the hypocrisy comes in. Like, you know, even, you know, minorities, like, we don't like it when we're judged on particular levels, but then we'll judge somebody else on another category, sexually or whatever. It's just like, you know, it just takes a lot of growth. You know, so
a lot of growth and understanding, right? Comprehension, understanding that we're different, and just because someone's different doesn't mean you're better or they're better than you. You know, we're all just different.
Right. So, like I said, I'm just so happy that you blessed the show. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for so long, and I do end the show with the same question, and I definitely cannot wait to ask you. So I would love to ask you, sweetheart, how do you define a queen?
Ooh, how do I define a queen? Being unapologetic about who you are inside and out, and understanding that the judgments will come, but they don't affect you, because somebody always got something to say.
I love that. You're right. The judgments will come, but like I said, your crown can tilt. Just don't let it fall.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. I love the goosebumps. I feel like that's just like a message from above that was perfect.
So before we end everything, please tell everyone how they can find you. You know, let's say someone wants to inbox you and ask you some information, you know, because they may feel a connection with you, you know, just to feel comfortable, just to have someone to talk to. And also your page, like I said, your energy is very infectious. And it comes out on the page too. So tell everyone how they can find you.
I'm on Instagram and NJ Lightworker. Along on Clubhouse, I'm NJ Lightworker on there. Follow me, I'll follow you back. I always put a little inbox when I get that following. I love to connect with others. I feel like when we get that following, to just engage with others. So I definitely just want to put that out there. On Instagram, I have to work on my Twitter. I feel like I don't have Instagram right now. So yeah, and Clubhouse. I'm obsessed with Clubhouse right now.
I gotta follow you on Clubhouse. I've been taking a break from that.
I think I'm about to take mine soon too, because I've just been like.
Yes, like Clubhouse is, oh my God, like Clubhouse is extremely addictive, but I had to turn off my notifications very quickly. But so once the yes, those notifications are brutal.
God's dead. It's so
like how many people are gonna ping me in an hour? Be a lot.
Energy though, it's the energy. It speaks for us, you know. So I feel like you get a lot of pings. That's energy. They just want your energy in there, right?
True, and it does open doors for opportunities like this. Where, because like I said, Instagram, I've met so many beautiful people like yourself. So there's definitely some pros with it too. But I just want to thank you again so much. Like I just have to send you a virtual hug. You know that meme where the little bear opens its arms and like the heart starts shooting out? Like I said, I just really appreciate you. And I know you were nervous, but like I just really just embrace the fact that you were willing to talk to me. And I really do feel like someone's going to listen. And that's the main goal of all of these chats, is just for someone to pick up something. You know, this is a judgment-free zone. Right. This is a judgment-free zone. Everyone is welcome. I just want people to just feel love, literally, when they listen to the show. So, I got my go love yourself all the time, but I really do mean that for everyone, so I just thank you so much, so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and just putting this education out here, I feel like it's one of my missions here on earth. So the fact that you gave me your platform to do this on, I am honored, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I can't wait for what the future has in store.
Thank you. Same for you. Like I said, I'm so proud of you just from what you said. And you do have a purpose. We all have a purpose. And anytime that purpose is to help people and educate them, I feel like you get extra energy just to go along the way. Like there's no mistakes in life. Like we're all here for a reason. We all have a mission for sure. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the Key Chat. Make sure you guys go love yourself, but also let's keep ourselves safe. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all in this together. There's not one person exempt from this virus, and I hope that people listening got that point. Like this was to erase stigmas and also to let everybody know, like, there's no difference in any of us. Like we all can contract this as well. And I know like the coronavirus is the hot topic, but we're going to wear a mask. We're going to wear condoms too. We're going to protect ourselves, okay? And if you got to take the prep, go to one of these centers, like Artie's in New Jersey, but I know there's centers in Louisiana all over where you can take that prep pill too. So just everyone, go love yourself, go educate yourself, and go heal yourselves. And once again, like, thank you guys for joining the Q Chat. Thank you, Artie. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And just thank you guys. And just please be safe.